Time for business now, and it's just me today. No Emmanuel Abuaji. He'll be back on Monday. Now, the price you pay for every litre of petroleum product will witness a marginal increase this week. The expected adjustment is in line with the bi-weekly price review of the various products. George Uafe has more.
Checks by Joy Business show that the expected adjustment is being influenced by the continuous increase in price of crude oil on the international market. The commodity over the past 3 weeks has witnessed a significant increase and is currently trading at around $47 a barrel. Our forecast suggests that diesel will witness the biggest jump and is expected to go up by some 1.43% per litre. So if a gallon of diesel is currently being sold at 16 Ghana cedis 29 pesos, then by Friday or this weekend, a gallon could be going for 16 Ghana cedis 52 pesos. Petrol will go up by under 1% per litre, whilst LPG will also see a similar margin of increase per kilogram. However, due to the current policy where each of the over 90 oil marketing companies are allowed to set their own prices, then there is a likelihood that not all these firms would increase their prices at the pumps in the coming days. For instance, during the last review, market leader Guel kept its price unchanged at the pumps, a development that forced the other giants in the industry to also reduce their prices after an initial increase. Some may even hold their prices at the pumps during this new pricing window. But with projections of a price pickup in crude oil on the international market, how long can these firms keep their prices unchanged? Coordinator of the oil marketing companies, Kweku Ajimandia, believes the only way out is for government to take away some of the taxes on the products.
Presently what we have now, we have huge taxes and levies on the price buildup, and our volumes are really dwindling. So if you're going to have this one and the levels of, because the level of sulfur, the cost going up, that would be very bad. But what we are content with, that's what government is also giving. At this point in time, when we are going for this one and the cost is going to be unbearable, government should come in and get the taxes lowered to be able to accommodate so that the people can also buy the fuel. The high level of taxes is an issue, and we have a high stock turnover because we are not able to turn around the stocks because of the competition. And what it means also is that the taxes that we have to pay, we have a shorter period to pay the taxes. And once we pay the taxes without even finishing our stocks, we are in the red already. Look at the length of time that we are given to pay the taxes. If we pay the tax elsewhere, we have as you sell, you pay the taxes.
Well, whilst you look at the impact of rising crude on the local consumer, there are some developments on the Jubilee field that is affecting government's revenue badly, despite the pickup in price of crude oil. Now, this is due to challenges with the Jubilee FPSO, which has affected crude production in the country and the volumes that it exports.
The Civil Society Platform for Oil and Gas is demanding the Auditor General's Department conducts an audit on projects funded with oil revenues. This, according to the group, is critical to ensure the country derives maximum value for money in these initiatives. More in this Business Desk report.
Budget allocates substantial amounts of oil revenue for projects across various sectors. Chairman of the Civil Society Platform for Oil and Gas, Dr. Steve Mantel, however, says the status of a number of the projects leaves much to be desired.
The primary underlying factor has to do with the issue of poor monitoring, poor supervision in the execution of oil-funded projects. As I highlighted in my presentation, some site visits undertaken by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee this year has revealed that some of the projects funded with the oil money in actual fact do not exist, even though monies have been expended. By and large, you find that the regional administration often is not aware of the fact that there are oil-funded projects in the region. At the district level, even where the district authorities are aware, they are not involved in the monitoring of the projects. And so there's no effective supervision no monitoring, and that is what, for me, largely accounts for these phantom and poorly executed projects. The first remedial step to take will be for the Auditor General's Department to undertake a value for money audit of all oil-funded projects in this country. And where monies have been abused, will allow the law to take its course. First, we retrieve the monies and mete out the necessary sanctions. Going forward, we will need to involve the beneficiary communities in the monitoring and supervision of the projects. There's a role for me, in my view, to be played by the local authorities. But even the civil society groups on the ground can also support the monitoring efforts if they are given adequate project information. And that is how, in my view, we'll be able to get the best of these oil-funded projects.
This, according to him, only calls for a deepening of monitoring and evaluation mechanisms with requisite sanctions. Projects that were monitored had been captured in the annual report of PIAC as having received funding in either 2014 or 2015.
Moving on, Ghanaian companies are making strides in building capacity to take over major contracts in the oil and gas industry. That's the verdict of the Deputy Minister for Petroleum, Benjamin Dagadu. Kuku Aban has the rest of the story.
Many of the major projects in the upstream oil and gas sector are executed by foreign firms to the disadvantage of indigenous ones, said to be the lack of the requisite expertise. Some industry watchers have expressed worry about the low level of local participation despite enforcement of a new local content law by the Petroleum Commission. But Mr. Dagadu tells Joy Business moves are being advanced to reverse the trend.
We are not able to take the big contracts for our local participation. So what we do is that we have to grow. We are now nurturing the SMEs which are trying to get some of those contracts. They don't have the experience yet, so you have to gradually grow them to be able to take more contracts later.
It will take you too long.
No, we have started. How many years have we started production? Nigeria has been producing since the early 60s. They haven't got that participation until 3 years ago, when we had ours embedded in PAs before they started.
Legal counsel at the Africa Legal Support Facility in Chimunya in Dulo says building the capacity of local firms is the only means through which Ghana could derive the maximum benefits from the oil and gas resources.
There's still a capacity gap when it comes to negotiating a lot of these transactions, and you're faced by companies that come with the best lawyers, the best accountants, and it's really important, given the longevity of a lot of these deals and the potential for resources for the country that can be obtained from these transactions. I think it's really important to address the capacity gap, and that's why you have institutions such as the facility where I work, where we provide advisory services to governments on these matters. We engage in building capacity, whether it's through the development of toolkits or just regular tools or model production sharing agreements, as well as trainings, and I think those are all very much intertwined.
The local content law is aimed at maximizing value addition and job creation in the petroleum sector through the use of local expertise, goods and services. Under the law, indigenous Ghanaian companies are to be given first preference in the granting of petroleum agreements and licenses, among other privileges.
That's it for business. We'll be right back.